So as most of you already know, for this exercise, you need to take your smartphone and go to menti.com and enter the code that you can see on the screen. You see it's 39573. I repeat it, 39573. Once you've done that, we will start with three questions, just three short questions about the topic of today. Should I already start, Emilia? Okay, I think we're getting more and more. Okay, let's go maybe to the first question. So the first question we want to address to you is responding in one word or two, in which economic sectors you think the COVID-19 crisis has given visibility to migrants' contribution, especially considering those economic sectors where migrants might already have had a great impact, and the problem was one of visibility. And what we are seeing now, I mean, the first one that comes up is health and agriculture as really important sectors that are also essential ones in this crisis. But we see also the informal market and the caring. We see also retail. But health and agriculture stand out as the most important ones, right?
Yeah, I think that right now we see that that agriculture in particular and food provision is becoming a part of the big discussion. For instance, in Spain, with a lot of problems getting the products out of the fields. So it is also true that many migrants are part of what we call now the informal economy, and I think that's pretty good. I don't know that health is one of those areas. I think that health is a challenge, and that we see the need for health increasing for health services to the migrants. But I am not sure they are playing such a big role in that service provision itself. Let us go to the next question. So construction, food, agriculture are the highlights there, I would say.
Yeah. So the second question is about challenges and challenges for cities. So what are the biggest challenges for your city's response when considering migrant populations, when reaching out to them? And here we ask you to answer up to three options. We have xenophobia and discrimination, coordination with civil society or with other levels of government, also the migration status and the working permit, financial resources. Well, we see that xenophobia clearly stands out as one of the biggest challenges that cities are facing in the moment, but also the one of financial resources is a clear one. Also the coordination with the national government and with other stakeholders. Also, of course, the migration status and work permits, indeed, it is becoming all one.
Yeah, I think these are very, yeah, I think that these are very balanced at the end of the day. Maybe less on lack of information, also bad information, I would say, and yeah, dealing with hate discourse and xenophobia and discrimination is clearly a big problem, but also the permit issue, so the legal framework is extremely important, and the capacity, of course, to address it. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, sure. So the final one is about your level of cooperation with the different partners that have to do with migration. So we ask you to rate in a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, your level of cooperation with these actors like civil society organizations, the national government, the private sector, international organizations, and also the diaspora. So those communities of migrants that are more established in the territory and that might be an asset to curb many of the challenges that we see in the moment. What we are starting to see is that, of course, civil society organizations play a great role, and we will for sure have the time to speak about that later in the second roundtable. But we also see that national government is a really important one.
Yeah, to be frank, I see this quite balanced, and I am very happy to see that that civil society organizations are playing such a big role here. I think we might be a little bit biased in this because we are a little bit preaching to the choir, and we are very keen to establish this dialogue. Yeah, our membership is very keen to establish this dialogue, but it's very good to see this confirmed. Is this the last question you had for us, Fatima?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you very much for that. Well, priorities are always an issue when in such a complex theme. It is not only about welcoming newcomers, but it is also about providing them the opportunity to integrate, the opportunity to work, the opportunity to have their children go to school, offer health care services. So there are many aspects that we need to take into account, and prioritizing is critical. I think in the dialogue that we are trying to establish with the international community on this topic, what we are claiming for is the acknowledgement from the different spheres of government that this is not only a border issue. And so if it is not a border issue, it's really a humanitarian, human issue where local governments and territory need to play a role because they will need to face the challenge anyway. And that is my introduction to the roundtable that is going to be facilitated by Jean-Pierre Elong-Mbassi. He's the Secretary General of United Cities and Local Governments Africa. And of course, it's a continent that has a lot to say about migration because we often talk about migration between countries, but migration within countries and within a same continent is also very, very important. So I hope, Jean-Pierre, that you can facilitate this roundtable, but also share a little bit of your views and what Africa has been trying to do with the approach to migration. We've got very little time, so I wish you the best of luck with this interesting panel that you have. And I would also like to take the opportunity to acknowledge that we have other Secretaries General from MEWA, whom I hope to give the floor later on joining us. Jean-Pierre, the floor is yours.